The Treasure, written and illustrated by Aidan's grandma. Once upon a time, before I was born, my grandma had a dream. In the dream, her father was smiling and said, "A treasure is waiting for you." Then he disappeared. My grandma woke up and told my grandpa. "Great," he said. "I wonder where the treasure is. Let's go and find it." So they looked all over their house. They looked under the bed. They looked behind the clothes. They looked in the bookshelves. They even looked outside under the apple tree, but they couldn't find it. "This is an amazing house," said my grandma as my grandpa pulled twigs from her hair. "But I don't think this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." My grandma asked my daddy and mommy to help her look for the treasure. They came to her house and looked under the table. They looked behind the refrigerator. They looked in the laundry basket. They even looked outside next to the vegetable garden, but they couldn't find it. "They are amazingly helpful," said my grandma as she and my grandpa cleaned the mud and ice cream from the kitchen floor. "But I don't think this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." Then my grandma asked her Australian brother if he knew where the treasure could be. He said, "Come to Australia and see if it is here." My grandma and grandpa flew on a huge aeroplane to Australia to look for the treasure. They walked along the beach. They saw cliffs, white sand, and huge crashing waves. Pelicans flew around them and perched on rocks. Kangaroos jumped along the shore. "This is amazing," my grandma said, as my grandpa pulled her out of the water and dried her face. "But I don't think that this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." They hiked through the rainforests. They saw massive trees covered with twisted vines, waterfalls that crashed down the rocks, long winding rivers full of fierce crocodiles. Bright colored parrots screamed. Wild lyrebirds and a cassowary bird as big as a tall man ran through the forest. "This is amazing," said my grandma as they ran from the cassowary. "But I don't think this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." They went snorkeling at the Great Barrier Reef. They saw bright-colored plants, striped fish, blue starfish, and huge swimming turtles. "This is amazing," said my grandma as my grandpa freed her from a giant clamshell. "But I don't think that this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." They walked to the market and bought strange fruits. Some had prickly skins, some were black inside, some had huge seeds inside. They were all delicious. "This is amazing," said my grandma as she lay in bed with a stomachache. "But I don't think this is what my father meant when he said that a treasure was waiting for us." Finally, they said goodbye to my grandma's brother and took the plane home. "Australia is an amazing country," said my grandma as she hugged her brother goodbye And my grandpa wiped away her tears. But I don't think this is what my father meant when he said the treasure was waiting for us. My daddy and mummy were waiting at the airport for my grandma and grandpa. Surprise, they said, and they held me out for my grandma and grandpa to meet me for the first time. Oh, oh, said my grandma, laughing and crying at the same time. What a treasure! This is what my father meant by a treasure was waiting for me. Now my grandma comes to see me every day, and she always asks, has my treasure been waiting for me? And I always answer, yes, I have.